Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about how to gracefully insert quotations into your CCQCs. There are three ways, good ways to do this, that I like to call, ironically, the three ways. The first way is to use a statement, an assertion, followed by a colon, two dots, to introduce a quote, like this. Rahim Khan's call uncovers a buried longing, colon. You can be good again. Notice every time I insert a quotation, the way that I cite the page is to close the quotation with quotation marks, then to put the page number in parentheses, followed by the period. The second way is to use a speaking verb and a comma to introduce a quote, like this. When Amir wins the kite contest, Hassan sets off to run the kite shouting, and shouting is a speaking verb, it indicates the way he's speaking, for you 1,000 times over. Again, notice the way I've cited the page number. The last way is to use a quoted fragment, and this is in some ways the most sophisticated way to incorporate quotations. Sometimes they're just embedded in the commentary and the context. Baba warns Amir that there is, quote, no act more wretched than stealing, and then you put the page number right after that, and that every wrongful act is essentially an act of theft. Here are some common problems to correct in CCQCs. Context that doesn't give us the information that we need. You have to remember that your reader hasn't necessarily read the piece of literature that you're writing about, and it needs to make sense to them. Your argument needs to make sense to them regardless. So it doesn't help to say on page 24 it says, or it doesn't help to say in chapter 2. You have to give specific when, where, why, who's speaking kind of context in order for your evidence to make sense. Sometimes people don't give any context. They just go straight from their claim right into their evidence. So in this case, Amir sacrifices his relationship with Hassan because he wants to be accepted by his own father. Baba never missed Hassan's birthday. There's no context there. We don't know what the situation is in the book at that point. Here's a better way to do it. Amir sacrifices his relationship with Hassan because he wants to be accepted by his own father. As Amir considers the attention Baba pays to Hassan, it gives us some idea of what's going on. He reflects, in this case I've used a speaking verb, Baba never missed Hassan's birthday. Sometimes you'll give context, but it won't get all the way to the quotation. It doesn't use one of the three ways. So here's an example of that. When her father agrees to proceed with the wedding, Soraya has to tell Amir that when she was younger she had been with another man. And then this person just launches straight into the quotation, I envied her. So as you can see, there's not one of the three ways. This is using one of the three ways, the assertion followed by a colon. When her father agrees to proceed with the wedding, Soraya has to tell Amir that when she was younger she had been with another man. Amir reacts unexpectedly to this news, colon, I envied her. You should never refer directly to the quotation when you're giving commentary. So in this example, come, there's a way to be good again, Rahim Khan said on the phone just before hanging up. Said it in passing almost as an afterthought, a way to be good again. And then this writer says, this specific quote must have resonated greatly. So it's awkward to refer directly to the quote when you're writing about it. Just go ahead and give your assertion. So same piece of evidence, come, there's a way to be good again, Rahim Khan had said on the phone just before hanging up. Said it in passing almost as an afterthought, a way to be good again. Note the page citation, and then instead of saying this specific quote, we're going to say what the quote is. Rahim Khan's invitation, instead of saying this specific quote, must have resonated greatly with Amir. Just simple little changes that make a big difference. Whenever you're writing an essay, you never want to say I think, I feel, or I believe as part of commentary or really any other reason, except if you're very intentional about it, because it's assumed that it's you who thinks or feels it because it's your essay, and also it just weakens whatever assertion you're making. So here's an example of that. But to be honest, I believe, so this writer has weakened his assertion, his good assertion in his commentary by saying first that he's going to be honest, which we assume, and I believe, which we assume as well. So here's a better way of making the assertion, just to say Baba's death gave Amir the opportunity to finally let go of his father's life and reputation and maybe begin to build his own. And if you're in the habit of saying I think, I feel, etc., a good thing to do is when you're doing your proofreading or when you're doing your revision, just to go back through and just delete every time you say it, because usually whatever you say after it can stand on its own. So this is what proficiency looks like at writing a CCQC. So this would be a 3-level CCQC. Formulation and stating of a clear, defensible claim. Establishing clear context for evidence that reaches the evidence. Using quoted evidence in support of a claim and the quotation is correctly formatted and cited. Commentary explains, analyzes, and interprets evidence and its relationship to the thesis and claims. And finally, there's some sentence variety. There's some sentence control in the CCQC. Okay, so good luck revising and reviewing your own CCQCs.